posted the message just 1 hour before the call, but usually since Wednesday calls happen, except when I say I'm not available. So I hope you are able to join on time. So last week we discussed this verse 28, where one of the very, very important criteria is this how nicely Narad Muni is comparing the flow of the devotional service to the flow of the river, like the river, the water flow of the water in the river. So we had some very good connection in this thing. Just like the Prabhupada writes in the purport, as the river flows on till she reaches the sea. Similarly, pure devotional service flows by the association of pure devotees till it reaches the ultimate goal, namely transcendental love of God. Such a flow of devotional service cannot stop. On the contrary, it increases more and more without limitation. So we discussed for how for devotional service to keep on flowing, the source must never stop. Just like for the river, the source, spring, or wherever it is coming from, it can never, it should never stop. It should keep on flowing so that the flow is continuous. Even if there are so many millions of tons of liters of water is there in the river bed, still, if the source ends, then what happens? The source stops. The Gangotri or Yamunotri, wherever the water is coming from for this, or for whichever river there is a source, right? If that source stops, what happens? Slowly the water level comes down, it dries up, it is used or it gets dissipated in different direction, and then it just dries, isn't it? Or the level goes down completely. So similarly, our devotional service also, that is where that constant sadhana is the most important criteria in our bhakti. That constant sadhana is the source, the beginning point of that river, like that for the devotion. Continuously the volume increases. So we keep on adding to the volume so that it flows. Suppose if I do devotional service for 10 years and then slowly my interest goes down, then I stop chanting, I stop reading, and I stop associating with devotees, I stop doing service, like that slowly one by one goes away. Then what will happen is, like how like for Duryodhan, his past pious activities helped him to enjoy the opulence for some time. Like that, there may be some little bit of that residual that thing might be there. That people will continue to call me as a devotee, but it will have that guilt feeling inside that I will feel that yeah, I'm not doing my practices, but why these people are still treating me as a devotee? Because they see you as devotee, they're saying they don't know whether you're chanting or not, whether you stop chanting or not. They don't know whether from the look of it, maybe if they start spending time with us, then they will see the changes. So they will identify, Prabhu, are you not chanting? Are you not reading? Earlier you used to be telling a lot of nice points, why it is not happening now? Like that. So slowly they will start identifying. But predominantly what happens is our interactions with devotees are just Hare Krishna, Hare Bol most of the time, isn't it? We just pass each other and say, how are you? And that's all we ask. Beyond that, there is, like, we don't spend the devotees and sit, or anyone for that matter, sit and talk for some time patiently one-on-one. That luxury we don't have anyway. So unless and until we actually sit with people, and we actually understand each other, it is not possible to know what is going on inside. So that person might be slowly for some time that residual thing might go on, but after time, it will just stop completely. Then it just dries up completely, until the point when we see that from somewhere some inspiration comes to start the thing again, maybe somewhere Krishna's inspiration is there. So this flow of devotional service and flow of river is such a beautiful example, because the river also, for it to continue to flow, one side the volume should be increasing, And another side, it should keep on going. It naturally it will flow towards the lower side only. It will not go against the up direction. So it has to go, which means by constant humility only, our devotional service will keep going. You see, Ganga river also, if you see, just an example, we're taking Ganges as an example. You see, in the beginning, you will see that in the where after the Gangotri, like you see that Badrinath and all these other near Rudraprayag and Karnaprayag, all these prayags and all, it will come very fast. It will be really forceful, right? But the volume will be very, very less. But as you go further into the plains after Haridwar and all, when it goes into the plain, it widens, isn't it? It widens, but it will look like the speed is a little slow. Of course, it is slow, like in the sense it widens and it is going to more realistic direction. But when it is near to the sea, you should see that it will be more than 60, 70 kilometers per hour. Just go rush into the ocean. You see, so the thing is, when we're doing our devotional service, also these stages will come in our life. Like but the point is that there are time when we will be adding more and more anarthas because people will throw different things on us. If I have to say, the real comparison is that initially we start and then we start doing the devotional service, then people will start appreciating us and all. No, then those things are the different items that people throw in the river. Like they throw some garbages, throw some different items. So if we stop that and stop at that and we'll start looking into those things, then our flow will stop. It can be criticism, it can be praise. Either way, you just keep taking it along with you and just keep going your direction. Your focus is devotional service. It doesn't matter whether people are appreciating us or criticizing. So river also doesn't matter whether they are throwing garbage or they are throwing very valuable items. It doesn't matter to, because it doesn't have anything to do with it, first of all, isn't it? Does the river going to eat some valuable food that is thrown into it, or is it going to get sick because the garbage is thrown into it or some chemicals are thrown into it? Never, isn't it? Why it cannot get sick means I'm telling contaminated, right? Our body also gets contaminated when you put different things in it, right? So the river also gets contaminated if it stops. But how much ever you put in this thing, of course, you should not put too much, but whatever is put inside, it carries along with it, then it is purified by its flow only. So that is the beauty of devotional service. As long as you keep on doing our devotional service, keep on remembering the Lord, keep on doing our sadhana, keep on continuing with our seva, then these things will not disturb us as much as possible. Very limited, sometimes here and there it will be there. So that is why Prabhupada says such a flow of devotional service cannot stop. What is that such a flow? Pure devotional service flows by the association of pure devotees. So it is the association of pure devotees that gives the enthusiasm for us to keep going in our devotional service. For river also, it is the natural flow, slope, that is what is taking it further and further down. Natural flow, downward flow. Because the pure devotees are always humble. So it's the association of the people who are humble and low, that is what will take us even further in devotional service. Just like for the river, the low-lying portions take it further towards the sea. Same way, for us, the low-lying, we have to take association of such humble, saintly people. They will give us the impetus to go further in devotional service through their own experience. Now, here, if you see, the starting point was that Vyasadeva was despondent. And in the despondency, he wanted some inspiration. And Narada Muni is giving him his own personal experience, where he was in a much more worse situation than Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva at least was knowledge. He had the knowledge. He had all the facilities, also being a sadhu and all that. But Narada Muni in his previous life had nothing with him. But the association of the saintly people, that's what he's trying to say here. The association of pure devotees, pure devotional service flows by the association of pure devotees till it reaches the ultimate goal. So that association of the pure devotees was there with Narad Muni physically for those 4 months. And beyond that, what did we discuss last week? The association point. Anyone remember that? I don't know if I was discussed in the Vichar class or in Dwarka class. I think probably Piyush Prabhu might know. Remember Piyush Prabhu when you were discussing about Indra and Prithu Maharaj's point? We said that this thing that the association continues on beyond the physical association also every time we meditate on that person, isn't it? Every time we meditate on that person or
Yes,
the
Prabhu.
quality of that person or the instructions of the person, the association with that so and so personality is continuing. So Narad Muni associated for the 3-4 months with the saintly that Bhaktivedanta sadhus. But after they left also, by remembering their qualities, by remembering their discussions, by remembering their instructions, he continued to associate with them. That is the beauty of this whole thing. So Narada Muni's devotional service was not the 4 months only where he associated with them. It continued on even after those 4 months. It continued on even after those 4 months till he become perfected as Narada. Till that point, he continued to remember. Even now, he is remembering their instructions. This was in his previous life, but in this life also, he is remembering their association, their instruction, and everything, isn't it? That's the beauty here. So the pure devotional service flows by the association of pure devotees till it reaches the ultimate goal, namely transcendental love of God. Such a flow of devotional service cannot stop. It's a beautiful statement by Prabhupada, most encouraging statement. So for the flow of devotional service to not stop, what is the two things which is very important? Just 1 second. So hold on. Sorry about it. So one is that our own personal sadhana based on the instructions of the sadhu. Second is how much are we associating with those saintly personalities by our minds, words and actions, by remembering their words, by following their words, instructions, and glorifying them also. It's not enough to simply, I mean, we are glorifying them by following their instructions, but we should also share the glorious qualities of such personalities whenever there is an opportunity to do so. Okay, so this is why these lines are very important. So what it says is, what Prabhupada says is, instead of stopping, it increases, on the contrary, more and more without limitation. There is no limit at all. That's what happened to Prabhupada. Prabhupada had a spiritual masters association only for some, say, 7-8 times, maybe maximum. But after that association, he, for his whole lifetime, he was associating with his Guru Maharaj because he was constantly meditating on his instructions and how to implement it, right, etc. Right? That is how it is increases more and more. The flow of devotional service is so potent that any onlooker also becomes liberated from the influence. This is a statement again Prabhupada wrote when he was sitting in Vrindavan and in the Radha Damodar Mandir, that Vamshi, what is that? Yugal Kishora. Some one temple also there, just down the Radha Gopala, that temple. That's where Prabhupada was living even before coming to Radha Damodar. So there he was living, and he's writing these statements where nobody was there at that time. But you see what he wrote in the purport in 1960, 64, 65, 66 or whatever time that he was, it became true in just within a matter of say 5, 6, 7, 8 years. those who saw him just by looking at him in the Hare Krishna Park, where is that? That New York, that Tompkins Square Park. Huh? They were just seeing Prabhupada chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and they just joined and became such a big mela by them, right? They are also free from the modes of passion and ignorance. So this is how this purport has been practically implemented by Krishna eventually, and it became such a wonderful practical example. Really. Mhm. So let's I just wanted to give that background because some of you probably couldn't attend last week. Um, so let's read further. Hmm? Let's read the 29th verse today. Anybody would like to start reading the 29th verse and then word for word?
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, I will read. It is okay.
Please, Prabhu.
तस्यैव मे नूर अनुर तस्यैव मे अनुरक्तस्य प्रश्रितस्य हतेन सह श्रद्धदानस्य बालस्य दान्तस्य अनुचरस्य च.
Here some five, six important qualities that he is telling again that really helped Narad Muni in his previous life in developing the devotional service more and more intensely. Let's read the word for word. It's a beautiful verse.
Tasya is means his. Evam, thus me, mine, anuraktasya, attached to them. Prashritasya is obediently. Hata, freed from. Enshaha, since. Shraddha of the faithful. Balasya, of the boy. Dantasya, subjugated. Anucharasya, strictly following the instructions. Cha and.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Translation. I was very much those sages. I was gentle in behavior, and all my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. I had subjugated the senses, and I was strictly following them with body and mind. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So see, when you see how the whole thing has developed, huh? The first step, verse number 24, if you go, he was saying that, 23 really. He's saying that when they were in when they were living together in the trainee season, he was just engaged in their personal service, starting point. Then they blessed, the sadhus blessed him by their causeless mercy. Then so that he can develop those basic qualities like being self-controlled, um, didn't speak more than required, was not naughty, etc. And then they gave, by their permission, he took some remnants of their food. That led to his sins being at once eradicated. And then, because sins were eradicated, then his engagement was more potent, because it's like, how I should say, there's a difference between pressing the accelerator and brake together and taking the legs off the brake and only go with the accelerator, correct? If you press both the, if you press both the accelerator and brake, it may move, but then it will not move as fast, like very, very slow it will be, and very soon the car will be damaged, correct? But when you don't keep the foot of the on the brake pedal, then just keep pressing the accelerator, it will just go smoothly. So the sins are like that brake pedal. It will not help us move smoothly. So initially, that once that was removed, then his engagement was more deeper, right? More potent and more smooth. Mm. So thus being engaged means engaged without the passage. Mm. Initially, our essence will be there, but once a prasadam is taken and you start following the instructions, then it is going away. You start hearing them. So his heart is purified, and when the heart is purified, when the sins are removed, only we can actually see the great qualities. We'll appreciate the transcendental qualities. In order to appreciate the qualities of the sadhus, also we need to have some amount of piety. That is why Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam, that shloka is there. Only after we stop the sins to a certain extent, then our devotional service will be even more potent. So when we was purified in the heart like that, then of course the nature of the transcendentalists were revealed to him. He became attracted to their natures. And then what happened? Then he has started associating more joyfully, more looking forward to that association. And then he's getting more mercy from them. And then he is able to appreciate the qualities of Krishna that were so nicely narrated by those sages. He was more attracted to it. He's more and more, because the sins are getting cleared and the input is coming more smoothly. Then the listening becomes now more attentive. Earlier, with the sins, the listening was probably distracted here and there. And once the listening becomes attentive, then his hearing became more and more deeper, and he became more and more purer at every step. Then that hearing got the real taste of Krishna. Hmm. First taste for hearing was increasing, then the actual taste we could get it itself because of the taste for hearing. So as soon as I got the taste of the personality of Godhead, see the previous verse, he says, my taste for hearing the personality of God increased at every step, right? Then the next verse, where it is currently now shown, I got the taste of the personality of Godhead, right? Means the transcendental things we start appreciating. When you start tasting the hearing itself, there's a thing between the taste for hearing the Lord and taste for the Lord, right? The taste for hearing the Lord, about the Lord, increases the taste for the Lord, taste for appreciating the glories of the Lord. You got the point? Slight thing, it leads to that. Hmm? And then the attention now becomes even more unflinching. It was increasing. Initially was attentively listening, but now his attention becomes so unflinching that he can't get diverted by anything else. As that state continued to develop, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings for both the Lord and I are transcendental. Here is where he is identifying that my gross and subtle bodies are temporary coverings only. I am not belonging to them. I am not. I can't. So far I was identifying with it. I am nothing anymore. Then he could hear like this, he was listening to the sages talking about Krishna, discussing about Krishna, engaging in the service, and continuously, serving them. So in that process, he he was continuously engaged and constantly hearing the unadulterated glories of the Lord. That is how this flow of devotional service begins and keeps on moving on towards the destination. Now, the next part of this whole thing is when the flow of his devotional service was going on. This is where actually Narada Muni is revealing this particular verse, which is 29. Now, this is going even more intimate, right? The intimacy is that he was so much attached to those sages by being attracted to their qualities, by serving them, and all that. That he cannot be separated from them. He could not separate himself from them. He was so intensely attached to them. This is how uh, This is the point where our association with the pure devotees reaches a perfection point. This is where it reaches the perfection point, because our attachment to the Guru, or attachment to the Lord, or attachment to whoever that we are serving, right? It should be such that we can't bear the separation from them. That is how it should be. I was very much attached to those sages, and I was gentle in behavior. Second point. And again, he's telling all my sins were eradicated in their service. Third point. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. Fourth point. I had subjugated the senses. Again, he's repeating. Fifth point. Strictly following them with body and mind. Wherever they were going, he was going. Wherever they were going, his mind was thinking about them. Oh, they will be there. They will be here. They'll be doing. They'll be taking bath. They will be. I have to go and serve them, and they will be ready for eating prasad, honoring prasad. I have to cook for them. So assistant their cooking. So they will be resting. Now I have to arrange the bed for them. So every single service he was waiting to this thing. So strictly following them with body and mind. It's a beautiful statement, this is. This all happens at the most mature stage of our associating with those great personalities. With our Guru also, it's not that you have to do only personal service and then only you can reach that point. Prabhupada did not do any personal service, hardly any personal service to his Guru, right? How was he strictly following him with body and mind every moment? Simply by meditating on his instructions, simply by meditating on his glories, hearing from all the other Vaishnavas or anyone else for that matter. So this is how we should fine tune and intensify our loving attachment to our spiritual masters. Only then, with faith, with the subjugated senses, and strictly following them with body and mind, we will be able to, get more attached. And the more important thing here is that I was gentle in behavior. Just when we are associating with the thing, the familiarity breeds contempt always comes. We start taking for granted. He starts saying, anyway, he's always there. Like Indra was offending Brihaspati, no? Anyway, he's always there. I can go and meet him anytime. Or we will not understand their sensitivity, like how they will have so many other people to cater to. We are not the only ones that we have not taken him for an exclusive lease or something. So they will have so many other engagements, so many other people to um, help in their lives. So we should be an assistant, trying to help the spiritual master in their seva. That is how it should be. So these are all the symptoms of those who are very much completely attached to the saints and the spiritual masters, and whoever they are strictly following us, the gurus, Shiksha, Diksha, whatever. So this is the summary of this translation. Let's read the purport now. Anybody would like to read the purport?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. These are the necessary qualifications of a prospective candidate who can expect to be elevated to the position of a pure, unadulterated devotee. Such a candidate must always seek the association of pure devotees. One should not be misled by a pseudo-devotee. He himself must be plain and gentle to receive the instruction of such a pure devotee. A pure devotee is a completely surrendered soul unto the personality of Godhead. He knows the personality of Godhead as a supreme proprietor and all others as his servitors. And by the association of pure devotees only, one can get rid of all sins accumulated by mundane association. A neophyte devotee must faithfully serve the pure devotee, and he should be very much obedient and strictly follow the instructions. These are the signs of a devotee who is determined to achieve success even in the existing duration of life.
Thank you, Prabhuji. You can hear me, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
So who would like to share some subtle salient points here as we are discussing this purport?
Prabhuji, I want to share.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can we say in one sentence it is Ado Shraddha and Sadhu Sangha and Anartha Nivrutti and Nishta?
Sorry, Prabhu, you are speaking.
Can you hear me?
I can hear Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Suresh Prabhu. I can.
Kalacakra Prabhu, I think.
Suresh Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
One sec, Prabhuji. One sec, Prabhuji. One sec, one sec.
I can hear your voice.
You can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. The Bluetooth. Prabhu, can you please repeat it, Prabhuji? I'm sorry.
In one sentence, what? Yeah, in one sentence, can we say, Prabhu, that it is Ado Shraddha and Sadhu Sangha and Anartha Nivrutti and coming to Nishta stage?
Exactly. It starts with that, the same thing. That the whole thing, Anartha Nivritti, Bhajana Kriya, the whole that cycle keeps repeating. And then it becomes completely Nishta, and then Asakti. Asakti, for now he's got so much attachment that he's got that Asakti. He's not able to be separated from them even for one moment. He was observing them very, very closely, and then he's learning a lot from them. This comes by hearing, the starting point is hearing. As you start hearing more and more, hearing, serving, then it becomes there. Good point. Thank you, Suresh Prabhuji.
He
Any
has
other?
come to stage
Yes,
in one
Prabhuji.
stage. He has come to fifth stage in one stage.
Yeah,
Up to
yeah.
Asakti.
So that's because the whole service is so intense, no? You don't have to go through the whole thing so for a long time.
And one more point is that it is a perfect example of Anukulasya Krishnanu Pratikulasya Varjanam is also.
Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Anyone else? Questions?
One of the reasons to make Prabhuji fast progress is like we have to be very much obedient and we need to strictly follow the instructions.
Yeah, this obedience is a very beautiful word here, Prabhu. Prashritasya. Actually, Prabhupada doesn't use it in a translation in the exact same way. How does he use that word? What is the word that he's using as an alternative for obedient in the translation?
Gentle in behavior.
Yes. Gentle is the word Prabhupada uses for the prashritasya. Obedience and gentility. Prabhupada is correcting these two. If you're not obedient, you will not be gentle. You will just speak something. You will tell something. We'll ask question. In the middle of their thing, you will just say, "No, I don't agree. I want something else." We will be very argumentative, or sometimes we will. They will ask us to do something. We will do something else, or we will just say, "Forget about it and go away." Right. So all these are symptoms of disobedience. When they are coming, we will not pay respects. We will not, when they ask questions, we will not answer. Why should I answer? That's a question that is what we will be thinking. Why should I answer him? He always asks this question like that. So this obedience is a very important aspect of devotional service. which translate into gentleness. And for this gentle thing, this word gentle, actually, Maharaj gave a beautiful meaning, because this gentle word is used in verse number 1827. Namo kinchana vittaya nivritta gunavrittaya atma ramaya shantaya kaivalya pataya namaha. No? That is Kunti Maharani's prayers to Krishna. So sharing, maybe you can take that verse. So another window. Yeah, Namo kinchana vittaya. In this, if you see, Kunti Maharani is praying to Krishna, and also Prabhupada is translating that word as Shantaya, as the most gentle. Shanta means peaceful. But Prabhupada is again translating this as most gentle. My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monists. This is the verse. Excuse me. But in that you see that you are the most gentle. Krishna is addressed as the most gentle by Kunti Maharani. Because if we have to become gentle, we have to follow that gentle Krishna. That is Shanta, Shanta Karam Bhujagashayanam. So for that, actually, Maharaj gave a beautiful expansion for the word gentle. He first said, G means grave. Grave in their quality, Dhira, Dhira Satranam Hyati. So first of all, in order to be gentle, our first quality should be Dhira. We should be very sober. We should understand the real condition of anything, true condition of anything that we are in and others are in. See, if you are not Dhira, if he does not contemplate on the realities of the life, then we cannot be gentle. So this is the first point, that is grave. The first G is grave. We should be very grave. Second letter, that is E in gentle. E means equipoised. Equipoised means whatever happens, we know and see Krishna's hand in it. We don't say, hey, this is happening because of so and so person, that is happening because of so and so karma. That's all. At the end of the day, Krishna is the one who is arranging everything, who is sanctioning everything. So we should always see that Krishna wants to teach me something in this. So let me be equipoised. So that second quality, that gentle is E means equipoised. And then when you come to realize, when you are gentle and when you are realize that see Krishna in everything, then the third quality is the N, the gentle. That N means nothing. We have to understand that we are nothing in this world, and we have nothing in this world. So that is when our gentility will make some meaning. It will have some real meaning at all. So that the only thing that I have is our stock is bhakti, nothing else. Everything else that we have is anything that we have will go away one day. Even if it doesn't go away, we will go away. They will be there, we will be gone. So we are not going to be with it forever. So that is the third thing, is nothing. If you understand that we have nothing, then the fourth one is T. The T is actually tolerance. We will be tolerant to whatever the Sitoshna Sukha Dukkhada. We will be tolerant to whatever happening. If I am only holding on to something, I will not tolerate. If I say that I have nothing, then whatever happens, I will not. If I remember that I am so and so person, I have this post, I have this much money and all these things, then somebody insults me, I will become upset, isn't it? It will hurt my ego. But if I always have this feeling, not that we should think that we have nothing, but we should also think that we are nothing. I have nothing is something which we can realize. Suppose all my money is taken away by somebody, then I will realize that I am nothing. To at least a little bit. But until I have this body, I will be always thinking that I have something. This post and all these things will be always in my mind. So any time we take a taste of the post, then we will not be able to give it up. That is why I was thinking this word Prabhupada always said, that we should always be like a postman to our Guru Maharaj, or our postman to Srila Prabhupada, right? Whatever they say, we should just go and deliver it to the thing. But many times we understand the word postman wrongly. The postman. You are attached to the post, not we are all attached to the post. That is why that is how we are thinking we are postman. Postman means we have nothing to do with it, frankly speaking. A small post somebody will give. If you do some service, Prabhu, you are such a nice Bartan washer, pot washer. So that pot washer becomes our title, our post. Will be attached to the post. The next day, someone comes and washes that pot. I will not allow him to wash the pot, because if he washes better than me, he will take away the title from me. So this is all coming to our as the hurdles in our devotion, flow of our devotion. So nothing means we have nothing, we are nothing, both. And then that means that will lead to tolerance, because nobody, if suppose I think that I am nothing, if somebody comes and scolds me, you are not doing this, you are not doing that, I will not feel like any way of being upset by it, isn't it? If I keep on remembering that I have this post, I have this position, I have done so much, all these things, and somebody will go, what have you done, man? If somebody asks you, then you say, who are you to ask me? Do you know how many years I am in Krishna consciousness? Do you know how much post service I have done? All these kind of things will be coming in our mind, and some out of our mouth also. Whereas when I don't have any such thing, I don't remember any of the past thing, then it becomes, we are tolerant. We are naturally tolerant, right? So then once we are tolerant, then the next thing is we are learned. Then that is when we are actually Pandita Samadarshina. When we are really doing all these four things, then we become Pandita Samadarshina, right? And then finally, after you become learned, in the sense you are aware what is what and everything, kind of who Krishna is ultimate everything controller, we are the servant, all these things we have learned by experience, not simply by theory. We have learned by experience. Then finally comes the last E is enough. You say enough is enough. This means completely satisfied. This is enough for me. I don't want anything more. And this is where we come to the Akinchana Vittaya thing. Completely, I don't want anything more. Materially, we are coming to that impoverished state, because this world is not going to give us anything, only pain, all this, some little pressure, whatever, then illness, disease, all those things that will come. And also it will put us into illusion. And this is how we come to this point of gentility. Enough. I have this much money, that is enough for me. I have this much property or whatever that I have, that is enough for me. This is my regular thing, that is enough for me. That's more than enough. Let me now focus on serving Krishna. So grave, equipoised, I'm nothing, then tolerant, learned, and then finally enough. Santushti. These are all the qualities that make us gentle, basically. And that gentility is what Narada is also talking about. And only when you are gentle like this, we can approach the gentle, the Shantaya, Krishna, most gentle. Otherwise, we won't be able to go there. We sing Shantakaram in front of the Lord, Shantakaram Bhujashanam. But he is the Shanta Akar, means he is the source of all Shanti. But standing in front of him, how much we are Shanti? Mind is always disturbed. Shanti means steady also, because when he is Shanti, he will be very steady. There will not be agitation, frustration, here and there, attention, getting distracted and all this will not happen. So this is the hope. And all these qualities of gentility in effect turns us into obedient students, obedient disciples. Any spiritual master likes obedient disciple. Here Narad Muni was obedient. That is why the sages gave him the mantra. So much so that in their absence also, he was able to continue the devotional service. And not only that, he could remember all these things in his next life also. He could see Krishna personally face to face in that lifetime itself. And then he achieved such a situation, such a position that just by his 1 second of his touch, they all turn into golden devotees. Take anybody for that matter. Mrigari, Ratnakar, Dhruva, Priyavrata, Satyavrata, or whatever. And then our Rahugana, no, not Rahugana. This Prachina Barhi, Prachetas, then Chitraketu, Vyasadev, then Dhruva Prahlad. Anybody you take, they are all his disciples. And just by the one touch, he doesn't come back again to see them, train them. Just 1 second, one touch and finished. Gone. They are gone to Godhead. This connection is very interesting between obedience and gentleness. Maharaj once said, obedience is the greatest remembrance of Krishna. Means when you are obedient to the spiritual master, that is the greatest remembrance of Krishna. Because when we are obediently serving the spiritual master, Krishna will remember us. He may not be able to remember Krishna that time, but Krishna will remember us because we are serving the pure devotees. And here Narad Muni, even though he might not be remembering Krishna, by his serving these spiritual masters, Krishna was remembering him every moment. That is why gradually it came to a point where Krishna himself gave him this darshan.
Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
your single gentle word defines who is Brahmabhut Prasannatma, who is a very loving devotee to Krishna, who is a dear devotee to the Krishna. What is,
Yes.
and all that you are defined in just single gentle word. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Everything comes inside, isn't it, Prabhu? And this word itself is such a beautiful word, this gentle word, Whenever you hear someone like, hey, he's a very gentle person, he's very soft spoken, gentle, then we like to associate with such people. Somebody who is always agitated, shouting, screaming, and telling one thing here, telling one thing there, and always disturbed mind, you may not want to associate with them for a long time. You may want to, maybe sometime they will be, for some particular purpose, you may have to connect with them, but then that's all. So that is all because our unsteady minds, unsteady nature. Unsteady nature means it comes because there is always a fruitive mentality. And I have to do this, I have to do this, I am getting this, I am getting that. Everything boils down to that. How much am I getting and all. That's why when something is not coming to our expectations, we get disturbed. Then we are finding ways to counteract. We're thinking somebody is the cause, then we try to retaliate. So everything is thrown into the topsy-turvy situation because of that. On the other hand, you see, Narad Muni was gentle when Daksha was cursing him. He was very gentle when Ratnakar was threatening him that I will kill you. He was saying, no, you go and ask the question to your family and come, I will be waiting here. So that is where, you become completely Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi. It also is there. You're completely fearless also because of your Shanta nature, because you are completely convinced that nothing can happen without Krishna's arrangement. Now, till this point, the actual thing for Narad Muni didn't start because he's only talking about his association with the spiritual, with the Bhakti Vedantas. After they leave, only he will face a lot of problems one after the other, and still he will not be dejected. And that is the real mercy of the Bhakti Vedantas. Giving their prasadam is the starting point, but the actual benediction of the spiritual masters, those sages, is when Narada Muni was left all alone. how he reacted to that incident, to the incident that was happening in his life. That's what will be covered in the second half of the story, in the sixth chapter. Yes, Gaurav Prabhu.
Much to the related what you were saying now, Prabhu. So the thing is the word gentle that we were discussing now. So Prabhu, for Narada Muni, all these things, I mean, to be tolerant and to be satisfied and all the qualities that we discussed now, right, Prabhuji? That happened very quickly, Prabhu.
Yeah, because it
And
was a complete blank slate. He didn't have any thing to unlearn. He was ready to go, and it was full faith that everything starts with hearing, Prabhu. That's the whole beautiful thing about Prabhupada. He keeps repeating the same point. Simply from hearing from them unflinchingly, the whole thing started and ended.
but for people like me, I mean, I think it will take many lifetimes, Prabhu, just
No, one
to
life
reach.
is also enough. One life is also enough. We don't have to put a, how should I say, like it's actually many times we think that saying like that is a maybe we just want to be like a little lower our expectations, or maybe it's a word of humility, statement of humility like that. But actually speaking, why should we reduce the quality of our spiritual master? If the spiritual master wants, he can deliver us this lifetime. So our aim should be that let this be our last life. Yes, we don't have to compare ourselves to Narad Muni and all. We will have to take inspiration from his life and follow ourselves. 100 things are there for in each of our lives to worry about, or be upset about, isn't it? Or are dejected about, I mean. There are hundreds and hundreds of things. Each of our life is having so many things to be worried about. But the reality is that if we are always connected to them through body, mind, and words, we will never ever lose our enthusiasm in our in every step of our life. I mean, everything was happening around. All the crazy things are happening around. Prabhupada was always quiet and calm. He had no agitation, nothing. That's a symptom of a saintly. And Krishna realized the saintly personality. Thank you, Gaurav Prabhu. So always be positive. If he wants, he will take this in this life itself. Like Surdas was praying, no, abhi ki bear par karo, Nand ke dulari. You have to come now and take me. I can't wait anymore.
But this feeling, Prabhu, sorry, Prabhu, but this feeling, Prabhu, there are times when we are not tolerant, there are times when we are not equipoised, there are times when we are not satisfied. So all these things are there, Prabhu. So that's why, I mean, it makes us think
No,
like that.
that is. I feel it in a different way, bro. I see that this is our opportunity to be more humble. If I never get agitated, if I never get disturbed, or something's lacking in me, I will always think that I am perfect. So there is an opportunity for me to think that I am perfect. So these things will give us an impetus to work on it, na? So end of it doesn't matter how many problems we have, how many defects or imperfections we have. Is our गाड़ी चलता है कि नहीं? It should keep the wheels moving. That's the more important thing, somehow or other. That's the most important thing. So yes, at times things are like that. Some ups will come, downs will come, ups will come again, downs will come again. But those can happen. That can happen anytime. So those things we always take it as an opportunity to serve Krishna, remember Krishna even more. Right?
I am remembering one example His Holiness Saldar Swami Maharaj gave. Is like he said, I mean, when a plane takes off, we can observe, but when it is in the sky, I mean, it looks like it is static, but it is moving at a very high speed. We don't know about it.
Yeah.
We just have to sit and then continue whatever we are doing.
But it is
So,
going at 600, 700 miles per hour speed,
yes. Yes.
right? So just hold on to the seat, that's all. Just enjoy the ride. Of course, it will not be as smooth as the plane. It will be like the roller coaster ride of the this theme park and all. But that also, if you hold on to it tightly, then you will enjoy it. Nice.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Prabhuji,
Yes, Rishubji.
this gentle quality of Prabhupada has
Mm.
inspired and ignited the minds of the youngsters in America, isn't it?
Mm.
He could inspire, only a gentle person can inspire many other souls.
Yeah. He was, that gentility is actually is obedient to Guru Maharaj. He was so, so unflinchingly obedient to his Guru Maharaj's order that he was ready to do. See this, many times, you see how Prabhupada is so sensitive to the needs of the people, whether they are that Sally Agarwal, or is it that the initially those who joined, they were interested in some drinking tea or something else also. He just allowed them to do, okay, you carry on. And that Sally Agarwal also, she had all her other items, eggs and all in her refrigerator. And Prabhupada is a sannyasi. He had his own cooking thing also in that same thing. And so she was asking for forgiveness. She said, please forgive me, Swamiji, I'm keeping these things for children. He said, Prabhupada just said, think nothing of it. Just keep doing what you can. I'm only a guest. So this is, I will adjust. Like that, Prabhupada. So how much he had to adjust when he went from here to just a sadhu from Vrindavan? And they don't even take anything outside. Forget about and the only prasadam they take, that they buy themselves offer to Krishna. And for them to live in a place like this Bauri and all these other places, it's amazing. And that's why Krishna is not, till even now, Krishna is not satisfied with reciprocating to Prabhupada's bhakti. He's just, he keeps on giving, like how Tirupati Balaji keeps on paying the loan. He's still not able to. Loan means not the loan that he got for his wedding. It is for the devotee's love. He's not able to repay that loan, that love. So same way, Krishna is not able to repay the debt that he owes to Prabhupada for his and all the acharyas, of course, for their love. That's why he feels dissatisfied in giving. Okay, I will open one. I will help you open one temple here. No, that's not enough. Open another one. He say, in one city, do you think you should have only one temple? Who said so? Imagine, open 10, 15 temples, 20 temples. In one city only. Earlier it used to be one city, one temple will be a big deal. Now we have, in Delhi, we have 14, 15 temples. In Pune, some 10, 12 temples. In Bombay, another 8, 10 temples. Wherever, Bangalore, you have so many temples, 10, 12 temples. I mean, I'm talking about ISKCON temples only, I'm taking. So how many is he creating? No, Krishna is trying to reciprocate to Prabhupada. And now the problem for Krishna is that not only that he has to reciprocate to Prabhupada's love, he has to reciprocate to all the Prabhupada's disciples and their followers' loves also. So his debt is increasing more and more and more. And now he can't do, he doesn't know what to do. It increased multiple folds. That's why you can get money as a loan also. But you cannot get love as loan, then it's very difficult to repay. That's such a tasty thing, interaction between the devotees and Krishna, between their competition for their love. Any other questions, comments, Prabhus, Matajis? Shamsundar Prabhu, I see you quiet. Usually you have nice questions. Thank you for joining.
No, Prabhuji, it was just a relishing, thing. just I wanted to just, since I'm allowed to speak, so so I just want to just make one point, Prabhuji. The issue is that actually, when we say that, are we able to really, go back to the Godhead in this particular lifetime?
Mm-hmm.
Prabhuji, I feel that why have we come here? The main reason that why we have come here is that we have actually challenged the constitutional position of Krishna.
Correct.
Now, that is our basic ethos by which we have come here. So that will be definitely there. And that is why all these material pangs will be there. But then Krishna again gives such a beautiful message through his devotees, through his leelas in Srimad Bhagavatam, that if you pick up any, Prabhuji, any leela with any devotee of Krishna, you will never find that they were completely, relaxing and enjoying in their life. So if you see it materially from the outer side, everybody was struggling. Everybody was struggling. Nobody was. But even then, that's what the message that what Krishna conveyed, that everybody had so much unflinching faith on Krishna that in spite of so much material disturbances in their life, they were able to be gentle, keep calm, and surrender to Krishna. And this is the key for going back to him within this lifetime, or till the time we actually develop this habit. Till that time, we have to continue the lifetimes.
Right. And all these things, a very good point, Prabhuji. And all these things about will I go in this life or next life or 100 lives? It doesn't really matter because Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rakhaitu Tirtoyi. Once you get bhakti, you don't mind whether it is this life or so many lifetimes, right?
True.
You just so we forget about all those going back also. When here only we are with Krishna, so why to speak of when I go there, I will enjoy. Here itself, we
And
should
one
see
more thing, Prabhuji.
Mm.
And one more thing, Prabhuji, we are not discussing the discussion between Vyas Muni and Narad Bhagwan. But if you again see, Narad Bhagwan has to again come back.
Come back for?
He had to take again, take a rebirth. Initial. Correct or not, Prabhuji?
Not only that rebirth part is actually, it's actually not a rebirth in the sense he was transformed. It's another birth.
Correct.
Here,
correct.
And moreover, the rebirth actually is it has a meaning only when you forget your past.
Correct.
When you don't forget the past, then it is a continuation of your previous birth only.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying? In any case,
agree.
So in Narmani's case, it's not a rebirth really. It's and that too, how he changed that lightning and the flash are happening at the same time. That verse will come where it he tells how he changed the body into that body to the transcendental body like that. And secondly, this Narad Muni's case is the best example for us to be inspired also. Because someone who didn't have any knowledge, who didn't have any facility for knowledge and this thing, simply by hearing, serving, and following their instructions, he became so perfected that he could become the spiritual master of so many other great personalities, who are again inspiring so many millions and trillions of devotion people, the personalities in the Bhakti cult. So he is a Acharya of Bhakti Sampradaya, Paramacharya actually.
Correct.
Beautiful thing. So much we can get inspired by Narad Muni's thing, Narad Muni's life. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Wonderful point. If there is no other point, then maybe we can end for the day. Anyone else? One last point from anyone? So we will continue discussing the next verse as we go along. We'll see if we can read the next few verses. Now, from up to this point, the the story is over. From the next verse onwards, another say 5-6 verses, he is talking about the core philosophy which should be the foundational principle of Srimad Bhagavatam, which Vyasadeva is going to write. So these 4-5 shlokas, 30 and 31 onwards actually starts. 30 is stopping the story here. Now what is that? Sorry, the next verse also is there. 30 is the verse where he tells that now the Bhakti Vedantas who are very kind who are very kind to the poor-hearted souls, instructed me in the most confident subject. This is instructed by the personality of Godhead himself. And then they left. Before leaving, they just left and go. That's where the story ends. The first half of the story ends, basically. Before the second half he starts, he is coming back to the philosophy of Bhagavatam. He just stops there with a particular purpose that they left, that's all. Now it is the onus is on Vyasadeva to ask the question about the second half. If an intelligent, attentive student is there, he will ask what happened after that. What did you do after that? Because the real thing is after the departure of your spiritual masters. When they are there, you can follow strictly, you can do everything. But after they leave, how do we behave? How do we follow them? How do we have that unflinching faith, continue with that unflinching faith? How do we continue to inspire more and more because it is a very poignant situation that you are alone in one sense after they leave, but they are with you in your memories, in your spirits and your experience and feelings and so on. But the unique privilege that we have is that to the extent we are pure, to that extent we can give that pure devotee to them. To the extent we are pure, to that extent we can connect with that pure devotee and deliver them to others, or deliver them in terms of their transcendental association. We can give the association of those great personalities, even though they may not be physically around. If we are able to get their association in their physical absence and relish it and serve them, meditate on them, then we will be able to deliver them to others also who do not have the physical association. For them also we can deliver the pure devotees love and association to them. That is a transcendental monopoly of devotional service. So thank you so much, Prabhus. Thank you so much, Matajis. We'll continue our Bhagavatam. This Friday we will have Prabhupada's Vichar, Prabhupada's Smaranam, the continuing with the beautiful book. And then Saturday, Krishna willing, we will continue with the Narada Muni's pastime. Okay? We'll stop here. Krishna willing, we'll continue next session. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील पतितानां पावनेभ्यो. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. Thank you for joining in. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.